All right. Hey girl, I'm gonna get straight to the point. I haven't made a vlog in like 3 to 5 business years, and I want to start doing these weekly. So I want to give a good just recap of everything that's been going on since my last vlog months ago, and then just move on. I'm gonna just chunk this into my life, my experiences, my biggest lessons, my goals and focuses right now, and then my advice to you if you're on this journey where you quit your 9 to 5 to manifest a better life. One, my life right now, still unemployed, still okay. I'm still coasting above water right now. It is limited in the sense that it won't be there forever, but I'm not focused on that. My manifestations, I don't really look at manifestation in the same way that I did before, which is why I stopped making those videos of, I manifested this couch, or I manifested this rug, both of which were for free, by the way, and that table. And a lot of this stuff in this place, actually. My actual space has upgraded immensely, and I believe it is just because of resonance, and it's a materialization. It's a reflection of the growth of which I've had inside. Not to be corny, that is really what I see this as being, which is why I think my brain doesn't really think about, oh, I'm manifesting this particular thing anymore. That's not to say I don't have manifestations that I really want. I'll get to that, but that's just, my relationship has changed with that conversation. My experiences, just to overall chunk them, is I still have what I consider avatar upgrades. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that in the last couple of vlogs that I made. That's just what I call them, where I can tell that my energetic capacity, oh, let me make sure this is still recording. Okay. My energetic capacity like expands. There's a lot that we can't see. There's a field, if you want to put it that way. And we have certain capacities of how much energy our bodies feel safe holding. And I can tell when that has an actual like upgrade. So I still experience those. A lot of those are also accessed or tapped into for me through dancing. Dancing and freestyling, particularly to Afrobeats, has been a really big part of my journey. And side experience that I've noticed that I just want to include in here, may not be spiritual, but I'm beginning to focus on cycle syncing, and that whole, like the phases, menstrual, follicular ovulation, luteal, and I know there's overlap between, I think it's follicular and ovulation. I'm still new to it, but that is very real, and I'm now going into working with that. So this is I'm going into my third cycle now, and this is my first time where I'm going to be forming my schedule around it. This last cycle, particularly this last luteal phase, kicked my ass in a good way. I'm also learning to see the beauty in all the different phases and everything, but I did not realize how much of this has been going on. So I also was on birth control for I don't even know how many years, and then I quit it about 2 years ago. And so where I'm at right now is technically where they say in the textbooks how long it takes for your hormones to really get back in balance. And so I'm seeing that, I'm feeling that, and I'm experiencing that. And I do believe our cycles with the moon and men's cycles with the sun, I do resonate with that information. So that has been really powerful. And then my biggest lessons that I've learned just since quitting in January, we're now in November, is identity shifting and emotional regulation is the whole thing. It's like I've been sharing before, it's the same stuff, but I'm just seeing it more and more how it really is everything. I am big on identity shifting, especially once I realize something is not serving me, and I've decided what I do want to identify as. I will switch that like quick, not wasting any time, because that is it. That's what you start to see. Your eyes see, or it's like your brain takes in the information that it feels is relevant for you and your goals and your beliefs. And so that, and then being emotionally regulated so that you can have awareness, you can step back, you can allow this emotional energy to flow through you. Emotion, how I said before, is the language of God. Now my view of even God is very different, but that quote can still stand as it is. Emotion is the language of God. How you feel in your body does tell you everything, and that has been major on my journey. And for anyone trying to manifest anything, I still stand 10 toes down on emotional regulation and your beliefs and identity being everything. I can make separate videos going into detail on how to do that. I will, or at least the identity stuff, because I have tons of videos on the emotional regulation stuff. But I might talk about it actually in a second, but that. My goals and focuses right now. So what has changed if you, why am I saying if you? Let me not even say nobody's watching this. Let me not affirm that. But if somebody is watching this, and if you watched my last vlog, you would have seen that I spoke a lot about manifesting a new house, a significant other, and a best friend. That still stands. Those are still my big three, but I view them very different. One, the house thing. I'm very confident that that will materialize, but I also understand more of what people say when they're like, you're just looking for the feeling. I really didn't agree with that for a long time. And I really disliked when people would be like, oh, you're just looking for the feeling, you don't actually want the thing. But everything we decide is really based on a feeling. Like when you put on an outfit and you're looking in the mirror, you're trying to see if that's the fit, and you're like, I don't know. You put on something else, I don't know. Put on something else. It's because you're looking for a certain feeling in your body. When you are making decisions about really anything, like it may seem like you're looking in a mirror, like that's what you care about, but really there's a certain feeling you're looking for when you put that on, taste that, try that, hear that, do that, whatever. That's real. And I wanted to feel grateful for my home and be grateful for the home that I have, because I was like, you need to be grateful for what you have, because that's what manifests or come back around or whatever. Now I have a different understanding of that, but just in the general terms, you need to be grateful for what you have so you can get more, whatever. And so I was like, okay, well, then if I'm gonna really try to be grateful for this place, it needs to be different. I need to stop shitting on this place. It needs to be a place that I'm actually happy with. And when I finally made this place into a home, it's like, I'm not in a rush. I'm happy with this place. I'm like, oh, I have a nice home. Like it's a lot easier for me to get in the feeling of having a home because I've made the space that I have feel a lot more like a home. It doesn't mean that I don't want to move, but I can tell like that's what I wanted. I wanted to do the things that I wasn't allowing myself to do because I was like, oh, this is just an apartment. Like I'm not going to decorate, or I'm not going to put this up. I'm not going to buy that, do that, whatever, because it wasn't my home. And I was like, oh, I'm not doing these things until I get a house. Not doing this till I get a house. And I'm like, no, I'm going to do them now. And now I can feel what they mean. Like anyways. So there's that. The home thing is still a thing, but I've also made the space that I have right now a home. The best friend thing is still a thing, and I have a lot more clarity on that now. And I've also have what I feel to be a better understanding of this idea of resonance, because I'll just make another video on that. Let me not. I'm trying to keep this brief. But now that I have that clarity, I feel way more comfortable and confident knowing that I will absolutely align with people that are an energetic match for me. I want someone that wants to see me just as much as I want to see them, that wants to talk to me just as much as I want to talk to them. And it's not too much for them. It's not too much for me, so it's not too much for somebody else. It may be too much for maybe too much for some or many or the majority. I don't care what word you put there, but it's not too much for everybody. And sorry, I keep looking over there because I'm just trying to make sure this video is not stopping, because it has done that before. But your relationships cannot evolve past what you think and believe that you deserve. And because everything comes down to belief, identity, worthiness, self-love, all of that. Which self-love has been a huge part of the journey. That's been huge. Because I think, if anything, if you want to lock it on anything, loving yourself. Because at least you will never leave yourself behind. There are definitely days, especially in luteal phase, where I feel like, what am I doing? What have I accomplished? Nothing. But at least I'm never going to leave myself behind, and I'm not going to be hard on myself in those moments and talking shit on myself. Even if I'm not saying everything positive, I'm still there for myself. And I think that is huge. One of my bigger focuses right now is like aligning with friendships and relationships. The relationship thing is really in the same boat as the friendship thing. I only even cared about a relationship as much because I just want someone to actually care about me. And what needed to come first was me just caring about me loving myself as I am, and me realizing that I don't need to accept or just be okay with something that I'm just deep down not okay with. And so that's new. I'm really excited to see just what comes of that. And while still nurturing the friendships that I have, those are my focuses. And then on this journey, which I forgot to write down, on in these past few months, I've also been able to discover what my soul path, or what I believe my soul path is, in a general way. Like I have an understanding that my soul path is in the boats of emotional regulation and or self-love, dance, because to me dance goes in with the emotional regulation and all of that. I think there's a lot of ways to express and guide others in the niche of emotional regulation and self-love, and that can be through dance, that can be in a world of ways, but I have an understanding that that is the overall bucket that I should be trekking towards. So I dropped my other business ideas, and I'm just focused on expanding in this space because it's not a business. This was never a business idea. So it's interesting navigating this, honestly, but I'm going to continue on that boat. I've found that clarity through that trial and error, through the contrast, through learning what I like and don't like, what I want and don't want. And that is something that I think is big if you're on this journey of quitting to do whatever. If you quit and you had the idea you're going to jump into some business idea and you realize that that's really not aligned with you, that's okay. Drop the guilt from that. Drop guilt, period. Just stay in the course, respecting and understanding the contrast, building your identity, continuing to show up for yourself emotionally and regulating your emotions. That's what I feel like has at least got me to where I am now. Not that I'm in some big spot, but at least I'm doing okay. And I plan to continue to do okay. At least that's what I focus on, and I don't like to speak in opposition of that. But if you are also on your journey of figuring out what the hell you're trying to do, and you quit your job, or you want to quit your job, and you want a better life, and you're just outside, always focusing on self-love and identity. Mirror affirmations and speaking stuff out loud is huge. That's been huge. Yes, you can say things in your head, and yes, that's valuable. Your thoughts are also energy. Your thoughts emit a vibration. Yes. But speaking out loud in the direction of what you want, and it doesn't have to be robotic. It doesn't have to be written down. It doesn't have to be recited. I do have, in fact, it's on this same thing. I do have affirmations that I decided to write down that I say in the morning. I say, I am confident in myself. I have an insanely strong belief in myself. I'm comfortable authentically being and expressing myself. I say those in the morning. Every morning I look at myself in the eyes in the mirror. But you don't have to take it that far. When I was doing them before, I just would wake up and just start saying positive things, or this is going to be a wonderful day. I'm so happy. I'm so blessed. I'm beautiful. I look fantastic. I'm always showing up for myself. I love myself unconditionally. Just rampage, whatever the hell comes to mind that's positive. And I now have seen, especially from back when I told you guys that one of the first affirmations I started to see become a set belief, and then that I started to actually see in the physical world, is everything is always working out for me and everything is always working in my favor. Once I started to see that legit happening, like at first I said it, didn't really believe it, but I just kept saying it. Shit would happen and I wouldn't really believe it, but I'd be like, well, this is serving me somehow. And then once I started to see that like set in, it felt good in my body and in my day-to-day, in my world, that happens all the time. That's a new flow I feel like I have in life, is that everything's always working out for me, and it really is always serving me. A lot of times I can make the connections of how it was serving me, maybe not every time, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with not always knowing and being able to connect the dots. But that taught me that if you just keep going, it will set in. And so then I started doing other beliefs with it, whatever new affirmation I decided to say. And I just keep saying the course. The morning and the evenings are the best time to get that momentum going, because momentum is real. And the other side, realm, void, quantum, whatever the hell you want to call it, you are building energetic momentum. That is real. That is very much real. And it's great to get that just started at the beginning of the day and then get it going at the end of the night. And it just keeps like marinating overnight. To me, that is huge. That is how I just switch identities at a rate at what I would consider quickly. I also, what I was doing, or I shouldn't say was doing, I still do it, is my affirmation boards and or vision boards, whatever you want to call it. I have those up in my room. When I first started and I didn't really have as much to say, I would just read off of those. I would just stand up and look and be like, money comes easily to me, abundance, I deserve abundance, abundance is my birthright. I would just read it. Because eventually those become so, repetition is valuable. Again, I'm not saying it needs to be robo affirmations, but you want to establish new neural pathways. You want the positive ones and the affirmations you put in there to be the ones that are most easily accessible for your brain. Your brain, it's so easy for you right now, potentially, depending on who's watching this, if someone's watching this, to think in ways that are not serving you because you've continuously done that. But a lot of those are on autopilot. If you can continue to speak in the direction of what you want, you will see stuff reflect. And that's where my confidence, I believe, comes from, that I'm gonna get to the end of this money that I have right now and still believe that something else is gonna fall out the sky and happen for me, because I continue to affirm that, and everything else I've continued to affirm happens. It happens. And if it hasn't happened yet, I know it will happen because you just keep staying the course. That has been my theme this whole time. It's just keep staying the course. Even times where I'm just like, what the fuck? Times where I'm scared. Times where I just don't know what the hell is going on. I know that I can count on the fact that I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna say these affirmations and I'm gonna look at myself in the mirror. I'm gonna express self-love to myself, and I'm just gonna keep going. Stuff will, it's like I told you, that's why I feel like my place looks like this. That's why I feel like I have the beautiful relationships that I even have now. And then I looked back on my life at other relationships and other times when I was in different phases at the multitude of different jobs that I had. And I can see like there was always someone that popped up that was an energetic match to me. At the time, I put them on a pedestal because I used to always put people on pedestals. Oh, they got it going on. They got it figured out. No one's above you. Nobody is above you. Anyways, girl, I don't think there's anything. I just want to do just like, let this be the recap, and then moving forward, I plan on doing, if not weekly, then bi-weekly. I'm still trying to figure out this thing with this camera and the SD card. I got a new computer, I got a new Mac, and it doesn't have a SD port, so I'm figuring that out. Whatever. I'm gonna try to keep these brief moving forward. Whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna do my best to keep doing these, and I'll see you later, girl.